Hello, this is Scott McVarish. I'm the Principal Attorney for the Immigration Law Office of Los Angeles. Today we're going to talk about tips on how to get your green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen. We're going to talk about actions you should take before your marriage, right after your marriage, and actions you need to take for your interview. So before your marriage, first and most importantly, get married inside the United States. It's much easier than the fiancé visas. It takes a lot less time, and you don't have to repeat processes that will cost you additional money in fees and attorney expenses. If you're in the United States, for instance, on a visa tourist, or if you're on a visa from a student, you still can get married and apply for your green card. We don't recommend doing it right away. You don't want to be accused of marriage fraud, and there are some issues you'll need to discuss with your attorney, but overall, you generally can get married and there's not that much of a problem with USCIS. Second, if you're a visa overstay, you can get married and get your green card inside the United States as long as it's to a U.S. citizen. Visa overstay, if that's your only immigration issue, that shouldn't be a problem. If you have other immigration issues, discuss those with your immigration attorney before you apply for anything. And third, I want to talk about documents. Sometimes you will need documents from perhaps a criminal issue in the past, from a marriage in the past, and a divorce as well. You'll need those documents before you apply. And they can take months. They can take up to a year to get sometimes if you're relying on the immigration services to give them to you. So apply for them now. Get your full record involving anything like marriage, divorce, or immigration matters before you get married, or at least before you apply. Second, right after your marriage, you can't have a Hollywood marriage where you have different residences from your spouse, where you keep your accounts completely separate. USCIS does not approve, and you want them to approve because ultimately they're the only ones who can approve your green card application. So you do need to live together. You need to begin your life together. You need to co-mingle funds, intermingle accounts. You need to have your names on each other's insurance documents, on your lease or on your mortgage. You don't have to do all of those. It's not like there is a checklist, and if you don't hit every one, you won't get approved. But there is a checklist. You just have to hit a substantial amount of them. And you can discuss it with your immigration attorney, which ones are the most important ones. But financial ones tend to be what USCIS is looking for. Also, right after your marriage, don't plan on leaving anytime soon, unless you have advance parole already approved. If you leave after your petition but before it's been approved, then you can run into some problems such as abandonment of your petition. So make sure you file your petition during a 5-6 month period where you feel you'll be able to stay in the country without any problems. Now that is for directly after your marriage. What happens when you actually get the immigration interview? Well, a lot of people are very nervous. Most people want me as their attorney to attend that immigration interview. It's not necessary for your immigration attorney to attend, but generally I find USCI officers treat my clients with the greatest respect when I'm in the room. But I've heard stories what happens when you don't have an immigration attorney, that you don't always get treated with that same respect, and you can have very confusing or contradictory questions asked for you. At any rate, during those interviews, you're going to need to bring pictures, you're going to need to bring documents that show your marriage is bona fide, that it's legitimate. One of the things, the pictures, you don't want to bring 500 pictures. You can bring it, but just know they do not want to look at 500 pictures of you and your spouse. Rather, what they're looking for is seasonal pictures, one for each season for your relationship. So I tend to try to have clients bring about 4 pictures per year that they have known their spouse, plus a lot of pictures of the wedding. And I want those pictures at the wedding to show your friends and family who were there. If you get married in Vegas or Reno or have some other quickie wedding, you won't have those pictures. That doesn't mean you're not going to be approved. That just means you have to be stronger in other areas. If you have no pictures with your spouse, that's going to be a problem. And I would question why you don't have that, considering the accessibility of phones with cameras. So start taking those pictures now, because whatever excuse you have for not having the pictures, USCIS is not going to approve of an application with no pictures from the past. Lastly, whatever pictures you do bring, whatever documents you bring, make sure you know everything about those pictures. So they may ask one spouse, where was this picture taken? When was it taken? Who's that person next to your spouse? You need to know that type of detail. It's important. You don't want to start answering questions from USCIS with the answer, I don't know, I don't remember. You can get away with a couple of those, but once you start on that method, or once you start on that track, you start getting nervous, and USCIS officer will start getting more aggressive in their questions. So know the documents, know the pictures that you bring with you. And even do a trial run interview. I always do trial run interviews with my clients, sometimes more than one, to prepare them for the interview. So these are processes you can do on your own. Nowadays, I do not recommend clients doing this on their own. It is important to get an attorney. Even if you're good with paperwork and you're good with official forms, you get an attorney because the attorney will make sure nothing goes wrong, and you'll almost always get your approval more quickly because the application will be turned in more quickly. Getting your green card a month or two early may not sound like a big deal, but it is, especially if you're going to work. The amount of money you'll make with your green card for those 2 months will more than pay for an attorney, plus it's just the peace of mind. You can call us anytime at 800-792-9889, or you can go to one of our websites, immigrationhelpla.com or derechosesperanza.com. Thank you very much. We look forward to helping you.